far out in the deep blue, where the ocean stretches beyond sight and law. There's a trade that thrives in shadows, harvesting shark meat and fins. It's a world driven by money, survival, and silence. Fishermen risk their lives chasing one of the most controversial and profitable catches on Earth. What they bring up from the depths can be worth millions, but at a staggering cost to the oceans and to themselves. The global demand for shark fins has created an underground economy that rivals the drug trade in profitability. A single pound of dried fin can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially in Asia where shark fin soup is considered a delicacy and a symbol of status. In some cases, a single large shark's fins can fetch more than an entire boatload of tuna. The lure of that money pulls fishermen from coastal villages into open waters, often for weeks at a time, chasing the gray shadows that glide beneath the waves. The operation is both brutal and precise. Fishermen use long lines, miles of hooks stretching across the ocean, or massive drift nets that capture everything in their path. When a shark is caught, it thrashes violently, trying to escape, but exhaustion and gravity win. Once hauled aboard, the most valuable parts, the fins, are sliced off with quick, practiced cuts. In illegal operations, the rest of the body is thrown back into the sea, still alive, where it sinks and dies slowly. This practice, known as finning, is banned in many countries, yet it continues on a massive scale in international waters where enforcement is nearly impossible. But fins aren't the only profit. Shark meat, once considered worthless, has found markets of its own. In parts of South America, Europe, and Africa, shark meat is sold as a cheap protein alternative, often under different names to hide its origin. Flake in Australia, rock salmon in Britain, and Kazan in Latin America. These are all euphemisms for shark. With rising demand for seafood and dwindling fish stocks, shark meat has become a lucrative substitute. The global shark trade is worth billions, with an estimated 100 million sharks killed every year. The fin trade dominates the headlines, but the meat business quietly keeps the gears turning. Even low-value species like blue sharks or blacktips can bring steady income when sold to canneries or local markets. Frozen shark steaks, dried cartilage for supplements, even shark liver oil for cosmetics. Nothing goes to waste in this industry. For small-scale fishermen in developing nations, it's easy to see why they take the risk. A few good catches can mean feeding a family for months. In coastal villages from Indonesia to Senegal, shark fins are treated like treasure. Middlemen arrive with cash, offering instant payment. No banks, no paperwork, just money on the spot. Those fins are then smuggled through layers of traders, each marking up the price until they reach high-end restaurants in Hong Kong or Guangzhou, where a single bowl of shark fin soup can cost more than $100. But the profits come at a high ecological cost. Sharks are apex predators, crucial for maintaining balance in marine ecosystems. Remove them, and entire food chains collapse. Without sharks to control mid-level species, fish populations explode, coral reefs suffer, and even the oxygen-producing plankton systems that regulate the planet can destabilize. Marine biologists have called it a slow-motion disaster, one driven not by necessity, but by vanity and greed. Yet the business persists, largely because it's easy to hide. Sharks are caught across multiple jurisdictions, often in international waters where no single country has authority. Some vessels turn off their tracking systems, offload catches to motherships mid-sea, and falsify paperwork at port. Others mix fins from endangered species with legal ones, making enforcement a logistical nightmare. The United Nations has imposed trade restrictions on several shark species, but illegal shipments keep slipping through under false labels. Even when caught, punishment is rare. In many regions, shark fishing supports thousands of jobs and millions in export revenue. Governments turn a blind eye rather than risk economic backlash. It's not just poor nations. Spain, one of the biggest exporters of shark products in Europe, legally lands tens of thousands of tons each year. For every illegal operation shut down, another two pop up somewhere else. The profits are simply too great. Some captains justify the trade as just another form of fishing. To them, sharks are a renewable resource, not sacred creatures. They point out that industrial trawlers destroy far more ocean life than shark fishers ever could. At least we use the whole animal, one fisherman said in an interview, showing freezers filled with shark steaks and oil drums of liver extract. But the reality is that sharks reproduce slowly. Many species don't mature until 10 or 15 years old, and they have very few offspring. When a population is overfished, it may take decades, or never, to recover. In the last decade, growing awareness has sparked a global movement against shark finning. Countries like the US, Canada, and New Zealand have banned the trade entirely. China, once the world's largest consumer, has seen declining demand thanks to government bans on shark fin soup at official banquets. But while consumption in Asia has dipped, the trade has shifted elsewhere, into private markets, online sales, and black market shipping routes through Africa and Latin America. For fishermen still at sea, the story is more complex. They're often working under crushing poverty, operating old, unsafe boats in dangerous waters. Many risk arrest, injury, or death just to bring home enough to survive. Some are victims of debt bondage, forced to keep fishing to repay boat owners or brokers who control their livelihoods. The allure of shark fins, light, easy to store, incredibly valuable, becomes an irresistible temptation in a brutal economy. Marine activists and scientists are racing to create alternatives. Shark ecotourism, for example, has become a growing source of income for coastal communities. In the Bahamas, a live shark is estimated to be worth more than $250,000 in lifetime tourism revenue compared to a few $100s if killed. Protected zones like Palau Shark Sanctuary have proven that preserving shark populations can boost both the environment and the local economy. But such solutions require stability, enforcement, and education, luxuries that many struggling fishing regions don't have. Technology offers a glimmer of hope. Satellite monitoring, DNA tracking, and AI-based vessel detection are helping authorities identify illegal fishing fleets in real time. Nonprofits are using drones to monitor shark nurseries and intercept poachers. Even blockchain-based traceability is being explored to ensure that legally caught seafood can be verified at every step. But progress is slow, and the high seas remain a vast, lawless frontier. Meanwhile, the boats keep leaving port. Some sail under the cover of night, others in broad daylight, knowing no one is watching. They drop their long lines and wait. Hours, sometimes days, for the telltale tug. When a shark comes up, it's a moment of triumph and dread. The deck erupts in motion, knives flash, salt spray fills the air, and a few minutes later, the fins are set aside to dry in the sun. They'll be worth thousands once they reach shore. For the men doing this work, it's not about cruelty. It's about survival. They live in places where the ocean is the only employer, where government aid doesn't reach, and where a single fin can pay for medicine, fuel, or school fees. Morality doesn't feed families. But in the bigger picture, the cost is unbearable. Every shark taken is one less guardian of the ocean. Every fin sold pushes the species closer to extinction. The industry's secrecy makes it easy to ignore. You won't see it on the evening news, and you'll rarely hear fishermen brag about it. But behind every luxury meal and cosmetic cream lies a silent economy built on blood and salt water. Out there, beyond the horizon, men are still hauling sharks from the deep, turning them into profit one fin at a time. And as long as the market exists, as long as there's money to be made, the hunt will never stop.